happened here? Where we go to? Want to say welcome to BNN 247, the Black News and Information Network. Peace, family. Why is it that your black vote is so important to our people today? We want to discuss and dig down and find out exactly why it's important. That's what our purpose is today. So if you have any questions, chime in. If you want to assist, go ahead and like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We really would appreciate that. And more than anything, we want you to become our friend on Instagram. Everything you do for us, don't forget, at the bottom of the screen, you see what you can do to help out BNN 247. We do appreciate that. I want to welcome you to BNN 247. I'm your weather brother, War Smith, and this space is about the truth, the growth, and the Black community rising together. Today's topic is something we all need to hear. So lock in with me today, and let's make this an event that you're not going to forget, and let's make it some information that's going to benefit you as well as us. I'd like to introduce to some and present to others my worthy brother and friend, Mr. Claude Foster. Want to welcome you to BNN 247, and you are none and only the co-host of our show. How you doing, Mr. Claude?
I'm doing good, brother. Glad to be on the show today talking about voting, the
Yes, sir.
franchise, the 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 civic engagement, the
Well,
democracy,
you
the
sound
democracy.
talented. So what do you think? You know, we got a long way to go. One of the biggest things I want us to get into is why is it every voting season we got to come out strong, pushing people to go to the polls? What's causing that? I mean, what do we need to? Why do we need to keep motivating people to go out and do what's best for their own interests? We know that this is the requirement. We know that the only way we're going to get something done in America is through the voting process, because that is embedded in the American society, and that is what we do. I mean, no other way if we're going to get something changed. If you use the system that's in place right now, and that is the vote, we can take what we want. But if we're apathetic about what's happening here, they're going to roll over us like a bulldozer because we're not taking advantage of what's available to us right now. I'm really, I don't even want to say upset. I'm really concerned that we're not doing what we should do or can do to help our fellow brothers and sisters and culture along in this America. What do you think?
Well, I think voting season is not really voting season. It's candidate season. We're voting for candidates who express policies and reasons why you should vote for them to fulfill everything you just stated. So it's really candidate season. And the candidates that we hear in our spaces, in our communities, are typically Democratic candidates because those are the voices that we hear. That's the party that we hear from. So we're not making decisions on policy. We're making decisions on candidates because all the candidates tend to agree about policy. So basically, people kind of withdraw from politics because they don't want to be a part uh, uh,
Now,
of. It's not really a democracy in action. It's candidates in action.
okay, one of the biggest things on the table right now is Jasmine Crockett, right? What you got there is on the ballot, Jasmine Crockett. Let's talk about her. I really admire that woman. You know, I don't care. I don't think nobody can say very much about her that's not positive, other than she talk a lot. That's her job as a politician. She does what she should do, and it's not with the green. She is against the green. And being that person that stands out like that, you have become a target. But she became that target. And as a target, you're going to lose 100% of the time because you're one black person. You're standing out there fighting by your damn self, and you don't get the help that you should get from the people that should be helped. Now, Texas got more voters than any other state, more black voters than any other state in the country.
Well,
Nobody. Huh?
but they got a larger black population than
Yeah,
any other state in the country.
that's what I mean. A larger black qualified voting population. 2.9 million people in Texas can vote. Black people qualified to vote. That's I forgot where I got the resource from, but I just got it this morning. And it's 2.9 in Texas. Georgia and Florida got 2.6 million black people qualified to vote. New York next with 2.4 million. And then California, as big as it is, only got 2 million black voters.
Eligible voters, 18 and
Eligible
over.
voters. All of it's eligible voters. So with Texas having 2.9 million eligible voters, there was no way that woman should have lost. Black eligible voters. Did you get any numbers?
Well,
Huh?
yeah, but you got to subtract from that the eligible voters that can't vote because of some kind of disability, like incarceration. Texas got the highest number of
Well, if you're
African American.
incarcerated, you're not eligible to vote.
No, but that's the number. You count that number in the number you just quoted. You're not you're saying that it's 2 point some eligible voters. I'm saying that
Yeah.
you're not subtracting the voters that are not eligible.
It doesn't
Because
include them. It's only counting.
it can't be. It had to be if
I
there's.
don't know how many black people are in Texas, but let's look it up right quick, and we can get to the bottom of it. We can figure this out. I can tell you in about 2
That
seconds.
number you quoted, because I've looked it up, that number you quoted is the number 18 years and older African Americans that's eligible to vote. But
Yeah,
you gotta extract out incarcerated people, permanently
incarcerated
disenfranchised.
people are not eligible to vote.
They're 18 and over.
Huh?
The 18 and over number is what you quoted. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying that the number that
We
you
need to
quoted,
It's
the
okay.
the number that you quoted, it, you're counting everybody, but you're not extracting out the number that had to have some kind of disability to where they can't vote, and like people in jail, in prison.
All right.
Texas got the highest number of black
People.
prison population in the country. They
Well,
can't
I'm
vote.
looking at it right now. It says Texas has the largest black population of any U.S. state with
Right.
over 4.3 million residents as of 2023.
Okay.
And they represent about 13 to 14% of the state's total population.
Okay.
So if you got 4.3 million black people, up to approximately 4.3 million black people, out of that 4.3 million, you got almost 3 million qualified to vote. So that leaves 1.3 million unqualified people to vote. So those prison people, those other people that just don't register, those are the ones that fall into that 4.3 million, and the ones that are underage that don't qualify. And if you watch the statistics today, the birth population in the U.S. has fallen below the average, which is 1.6 something. I don't know what that 1.6 is, but it means that it should be 1.6 something, but we're at like 1.5 or 1.3 or something like that per birth rate in America. So we're losing the population in this country going down. So they're gonna bring way more South Africans from over there to here. They're gonna bring way more Ukrainians from over there to here. because there's one thing that's going on here that we're not paying attention to is that they're in a crisis mode to increase the white population in the United States of America. That's what's happening right now. And we see it in our plain sight, and we're not fighting. Do you wonder why other countries get up in revolutions? They get in these revolutions because they are so sick and tired of what the government has done to the people. Now, that's what we're doing here. We're more political. We understand this system. We know how to fight in this system. We just have to use this system as they use this system because they are great at using it and we can get greater. That's where I feel we are right now with America and with what we need to be doing as far as the voting for black people. We got to vote, y'all. We got all these people in Texas. 7 out of 10 people are eligible to vote in Texas or in the country. That's a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 4 have a BA degree. 1 in 4 black people that are eligible to vote got a bachelor's degree. That's a lot of folks. But like Claude was saying, many people are disenfranchised of what's happening here. Many people are still intimidated. There's still people in Mississippi that when voting time come around, they work the dog D-O-D-O out of those black people. So they don't get a chance to go vote. They don't even know that it's time to vote because they don't have a breathing moment to go to the poll.
Speaking of that, does Mississippi have early voting?
I don't know. I haven't lived in Mississippi in 45 years.
You never hear early voting in Mississippi.
Mm.
I don't think Alabama has.
Question about Mississippi
Yeah.
and voting.
I mean, I keep bringing up Mississippi because
They're
it's got
not
the
going
highest.
to
It's got the highest percentage of.
get out. They don't
It's
get
got.
out.
It's
Huh?
got the. Mississippi has the highest percentage of African Americans or any other state. That's why I keep
Mm-hmm.
using that as a bellwether. But yeah, man, Jim Crow.
Mississippi is
Jim,
behind Texas.
no, Texas is not the highest.
All right,
Texas
so
got
we're
the
talking
largest.
about who has the most black people in the country.
Texas has the highest number. It doesn't have the highest percentage.
Okay.
It has the highest number,
Highest
raw
percentage
number.
of voters.
Right. Black voters.
Okay.
Mississippi has the highest percentage of black voters.
Okay. So Mississippi got the highest percentage of black voters, but in Mississippi, that percentage don't vote. I'm still concerned about why Jasmine Crockett lost. That's a
Well,
no-brainer there.
I'll give you.
He lost by what, 60,000 votes?
Jasmine Crockett lost because the white liberal voters didn't vote for her. Uh, Tallarico got 76% of the vote in Austin. You used to work in Austin. That is, I used to work in Austin on 11th Street. That is the white liberal bastion of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Crockett, Tallarico got 76% of that vote.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the white liberal? Black folks turn out in numbers, just like Royce West turned out in numbers. Why would the Democratic Party run 2 people in the primary in the first place? Well, they could say, well, Jasmine Crockett got in late. Jasmine Crockett got in late because I don't think that they wanted Colin Allred to run again because he had already lost. So that's why they had Tallarico in because they didn't want Colin Allred.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Colin Allred was upset when he made that comment about what Tallarico allegedly had said about him running a mediocre. Well, he was a mediocre black candidate, but he was talking about he ran a mediocre campaign. That's why I think they put Tallarico up. Jasmine Crockett got in late in the race.
But look why she got in too, though.
Yeah, I think she got in late because I think the black Texas community, political community, encouraged her to get in because it's our time now.
But
Just like it should have been our time in Royce West.
Why did she have to run this midterm?
Now I'm telling you why. Because I think that the
So
black
carving up the districts ain't had nothing to do with it.
no, I think carving up the district probably The guy that replaced her is in a runoff with the white woman in that same district, her old district. I don't
Mm.
think that necessarily had anything to do with it. I think her presence in Washington, her status, her national status,
Mm.
and I think the black leadership, the black power structure in Texas encouraged her to get in that race. Tallarico was already in. He was running against Allred. Allred got out the race. I'm sure that the redistricting put everything in motion. Put it like that.
The bottom line is, a black woman running for a big office like that catches. I mean, it's always a plot to not let her win.
Well, I don't think it's. I think it's less to do with her being a woman. I think it's more to do with the way Democratic politics play out in Texas.
Mhm.
You,
But
you know,
to me, she's a great politician.
well, convince them white liberals down in Austin of that because that's where she lost at.
I mean, that's the threat right there. Being a great black politician is a threat. The only way you're going to be a great black politician is you don't be a threat.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is these are all Democrats. Why won't liberal Democrats vote for black candidates? Royce West was a prime example.
Did
Colin Allred was a
he lost too?
three black. Yeah, he lost to a white woman. They nominated a white woman, and she
Three
lost in the
black people.
general election.
They got rid of West. I knew West. I met him before.
Yeah, if you go up to that, Colin Allred lost. Royce West lost. Now she done lost. So it ain't got nothing to do with her being a woman.
But
It's
it's got
got something to
everything
do.
with them carving up those districts.
It's got everything to do with her being black.
And nothing. I mean, what percentage of the do with carving up the districts?
Well, I don't think. I don't. I think she still. If they hadn't carved up the district, she still would have lost. That still doesn't explain
So
why. It doesn't explain why she lost so heavily in Austin, in Travis, in
that's ain't what so much she was gonna do. Like you said, white folk gonna vote white. If they can't vote white, they gonna vote Hispanic. They're gonna
well,
vote close to white as they can before they vote for black.
the question I would like to see, and I think going forward, the Democrats ought to ask them. The Democrats ought to field a set of candidates and have black candidates at the top of the ticket and don't have no person running against them in the primary. Have a selection. If they're serious about diversity, select the candidates, get a commitment from party members that nobody will run against for governor, for uh, fill a slate of candidates and leave it and don't have no competition. Now, is that democracy? I'd be curious. What? Come on, listeners, is that democracy?
Of course, to me, it's democracy because you're giving people the chance to make the decision.
No,
That's
so
democracy.
you
You
don't
make
think they
the
had
decision for everybody without consideration of it.
you don't think they had the ability to make decisions between Tellerico and Jasmine?
Yeah, and because it was late in the game, like you said earlier, that's more
But
like
once she got so what you're saying is that the commitments had already been made to Tellerico because she got in the game late. I mean that's plausible. That's plausible. I mean I'll buy that.
it.
I'll give you some room on that. That she got in the race late. Therefore, all the white folks had already made a commitment to Tellerico.
And even if she had been in the race and Tyler Rico came in late, he still would have lost because as you know and I know, if they got a choice to go somewhere other than us, they will, and that's what's happening here.
I like that. Go ahead.
No matter what, though, this is how it works in our country. We can only make a difference if we vote. And as long as we think it's going to handle itself and it's going to come out in the wash, everything's going to happen because it's going to happen, and God's going to take care of us. He's going to make a way. And just like I say that to this pastor that ran for city council a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
he thought God was going to put him in the seat He did not make it to the seat. I'm
I,
sorry.
I'll ask you a question. You're in San Antonio. How did the black candidates on the ballot in San Antonio fare?
I don't know. I haven't.
I think they all lost.
I don't think a whole lot of people did what they were supposed to do. I think we were way below what we were supposed to be when it comes to
But
voting.
then, but didn't all your black judges lose?
I don't know. I haven't followed a single thing about San Antonio. I only looked at the national.
Don't you live in San Antonio?
No,
Oh,
I live close enough to say I live in San Antonio.
but you're not in Bexar County, so you don't vote in Bexar County.
I live close enough.
Oh, okay.
I had to keep my location.
But you raise a good question about why is it that so many African Americans do not vote?
It's timing. Many of us don't want to just take the time to give to that process.
You got two
We don't
weeks,
even want to
man.
take the time to go to the grocery store, but we got to eat, so we go. We hate going sometimes.
But
We
you
don't
got
want to
two.
go to
You
the
got
DMV,
two.
get our cars registered, get oil change. We don't want to do all that, but we have to do it, and so we do
Right.
it. We don't look at voting as that type of priority. It's not a priority like food. It's not a priority like putting gas in the car.
Well, you go get gas. You get something for your time. You get the gas. You go to the grocery store. You
You
get something for your time. You get
don't
groceries.
feel like you
When
get
you go
nothing.
to the polls, you do get something for
You
your
get a
time.
sticker.
Well, you get a sticker.
That's
You get a
that's how many people look at it. You just get a sticker.
but you get a candidate that cares about the issues that you care about.
But you may already be feeling that you're gonna lose, but the numbers count. In other words, if Jasmine Crockett lost by 10,000 votes or 3,000 votes, that would have been so beautiful.
Right.
Because what that would indicate is that we, as a culture or people, put our effort in to make her win. But
Right.
the way it looks, we didn't do a damn thing for her to lose by 60,000 votes. We could have at least made the race a little bit closer if our people voted. Our people voted, but they didn't vote in ways that would make a difference.
Right.
And the only way our vote is going to count is if we make a difference. So if you are out there every single time it is the vote, and you're voting, and nobody. I'm sorry to keep shaking the phone. I apologize for that. If you're out there voting, and every single time you're out there voting, and you know people that are qualified to vote, and never ever take a moment to assist in this process, then we're only hurting ourselves because there's a purpose behind us doing this whole thing. It ain't just. It ain't just. Let's see what I'm trying to say. It ain't just something to think about or to do. If you finally figure out you got the time, you go and do it. Voting is something that you should be doing regardless of the time. Your vote is more important than your job at that particular moment. It only takes you what 10, 15 minutes to do early voting if you don't get caught up in these long lines to vote.
Listen to these numbers.
Huh?
Listen to these numbers. This
Mm-hmm.
is where most of the black folks are. In Harris County, there's 2,702,952 registered
That's
voters.
Austin, right?
That's Houston.
That's Houston.
In Dallas, there's 1,463,708 registered.
Wow.
In Bexar County, there's 1,293,128 registered to vote. In
Mm.
Tarrant County, Fort
Did they?
Worth, there's 1,306,427.
Did any of those give you the amount of people that voted versus the amount of people qualified to vote?
I have to look on another chart.
Mm. The discussion today
But my
surrounds.
point, but my point is, all those counties that I read you, the Democrats are the majority in those counties.
Mm.
So if higher numbers of Democrats had voted in those counties,
So we're looking at hindsight too. If
well, we're talking about it. If we're on an if program, we're talking about it. why African Americans don't vote. We talk about it after an election, and it may
African
be.
Americans don't vote because African Americans don't know who they are. But if they think they're African American, they don't know who they are. If they think they're black, they don't know who they are. I say this a little bit every time we talk. That is a very important place to be, is in the know of self. And most of us don't know that we are more powerful than we think we are.
Look, Jas- Jasmine Crockett lost that race in the metro areas where most of us are at. So if most of us, if we had a high, and it'd be curious to see the numbers at the number of African Americans that voted in these counties, because in the major metros in Texas, there are 7,686,860 registered voters in the metro areas.
Mm.
In the suburban areas, like where I live, where you live, there are 3,817,542 registered voters.
Mm.
In the rural counties, there was only 3,773,141 registered voters. The smaller cities, 1,000,008, and the border region, 1,000,005. So these races are won and lost in these urban and suburban areas. That's where most of the voters are.
Mm.
And people are not voting in high enough numbers.
That's,
And and trying to figure out why they're not voting. I mean, everybody say Jasmine Crockett was dynamic. She was a fighter. She took her gloves off, and she. If Jasmine Crockett didn't get him out, who can get him out?
I think if she can get them out, but it's just not her time. I just don't think she should quit right now. I think she should hit the ground hard because she is probably the strongest leader we have in the country right now. Who's stronger than her?
Well, she's going to decide what to do. I mean, because she's lost her seat to her pastor got her seat. He won
Mm.
the primary, and it's a Democrat seat, so he's probably going to win it in November.
But my point is, she's a dynamic speaker. She needs to continue speaking on behalf of the people
Well,
because
she could be a great
people know her and people will listen to her.
I think she'd be great as a Democratic Party chair for Texas.
They said they had Hakeem Jeffries on the hot seat the other day.
No, no, I say for Texas,
Mm.
because Texas has never had a black Democratic Party chair.
And see, that's the thing. We're thinking small with Texas. I'm thinking national. I'm
Well,
thinking.
how's she gonna be chair when she won't be in Congress?
I'm thinking she don't have to be in Congress. She can be in the NAACP. She can be in other major organizations. They just need to they adapt her, and she just needs to put her foot on the ground and get out there and do it.
Well,
You
she
know,
may do.
she,
She may.
she can be a great representative for us and a great spokesman for our people.
She may do what Stacey Abrams did in Georgia. She may go off and do some voter, start her own organization to do some voter mobilization and education around the state. She could do that.
And see,
I
that's the
mean,
thing. That's thinking small. You're limiting yourself to what you're capable of. Your purpose in life is
no,
bigger
what do
than
you mean? Texas is the biggest state in the union.
huh?
Texas is the largest state out of the 50
Yeah, but her
states, other than
purpose is
Alaska.
bigger than Texas. She's bigger. Texas is great. You know, great things are big in Texas, but she's bigger than Texas. She's national. She needs to go on a national circuit because she is not necessarily state property. She's federal property for us. She's our representative. She's the strongest, boisterous person that we have.
Well, you raise a good point. Is that what we need in
What do you
terms
mean?
of national leadership? The boisterous
We need
person.
somebody to unify. And voting is something we fought for the last 100 damn years, seem like, and it's going backwards.
Well, I'm
But
asking you
well, actually, it's increasing.
I'm asking you is Jasmine Crockett the type of leadership we need on the national stage?
Hell to the yeah.
Is that the leadership we need going forward?
I think we can't go without that. We can go with this turn of the cheek stuff. We need to go with a boisterous, an articulate, a sound, clean background, certified type individual,
Mm.
and she's checked every block, and she can do it. She's got the tenacity. She can
So,
handle
so
um,
you think maybe
handle the people that try to shut her down. She knows how to do this, and that is the person we need out. She, she, she inherited Jesse Jackson's spirit.
yeah. Did you watch his funeral?
Some of it. That was
Some of it.
too
It was
damn
it was long. I watched it in pieces.
long.
It
That was
was long,
the only I ever seen.
and that was like they had like
That
what
was
four.
Ronald Reagan. That was a long film.
That was longer than all the presidents
Yeah,
that died.
they still going at it. Bill Clinton got up there and acted like he lost where he was supposed to be. He shouldn't have. He should have hurried up and got to sit down. He just, he just. I mean, he was doing what you call
Well, Jesse Jackson had a major impact. You go back and look at some of his 88. I don't know where you were in 88, but
1888.
1988
Shit, I don't know where I was.
and his 84 campaign. I mean, I mean, he laid the groundwork for these diverse parties in terms of the Democratic Party being a more holistic. That's how Obama got elected.
But
Obama just didn't get elected with black
Trump,
folks.
you didn't have a Trump in the office. You know what significant legislation you've seen for black people? The only thing I've seen lately is that there's a bill on the floor that says you cannot tamper, change, manipulate, remove items from a black historical marker, museum, etc.
You know,
That's the only legislation I've seen on the floor.
what is it that black folks want today?
What do you mean? What you know? We've been wanting the same thing. We haven't asked for but one thing:
What's that?
recognition of what has happened to our people and recognition of our people. We are not documented as a people anywhere in the world. We're not documented. We are people existing with no heritage.
Right.
We didn't begin our lives at the end of the Civil War. Our life began before that. It began before the first black person, at least the first one they claimed at the land over here, which we were already here. You can see our faces on things all over the country. Black faces. Don't think that
Name
we're
name me give me five black political faces that you think are meeting the demands of the times that we're living in today.
there's not five out there.
Name me five. Name me five leaders that you think are meeting the test of today.
What's that? Sonia. Um, when I can't think of the last name. You know, I'm talking about the good-looking Hispanic lady. I think she's doing a great job. She hasn't been in the news lately. I think Jasmine's doing a good job. I think the lady from Georgia's doing a good job that ran for governor. Uh,
Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. I don't know. It's most of them women. I don't see a man stepping into that role. I don't see it. You see it? I don't see a man stepping into that role. So these women can pave the way for a man because eventually they're going to need our support if they go into those positions.
That's a hell of a statement you're making.
Well, it's a statement that most people would not want to hear, but let the truth be told. You know, I'm not here to tell a lie about anything. If people don't like what I say, they got
Well,
to like.
my argument would be there's no way, just like there's no way in hell a black woman would be president before a white woman. That's true in the Texas Senate. There's no way in hell a black woman would be a senator from Texas
You
before a
saw that
white
in
woman.
the
No way in hell.
I mean, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, a she was a senator from California. Yeah.
And our vote wouldn't make a difference no way with her because the senators have to vote.
No, I'm just saying that she was in California. She was a female senator.
Mm.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they're the ones who would elect the president. Those senator votes, those House votes. That's it. Our popular vote don't mean jack nothing, but it's a popular vote. It has nothing to do with the president. We vote for local and state officials. That's it.
Well, you vote for electors based on the population of your state.
Yeah, you put them. You put the federal people in the federal positions based on your state.
Yeah, electors, which I don't know. I don't know whether it's not a direct
What
vote. Of,
what can happen here? Though? We got to do something different than what we've done for the last several hundred years. I
well,
mean,
I think
you know,
we've been doing. I think what we've been doing, and I think the people that's been doing things the same old way that we've been doing it, they're slowly dying. Jesse Jackson, all those leaders of the past
only one
that
left.
we.
Well, there's only two left.
Well, you got Andy Young, he's left,
Oh, well, three.
and then you got other minor members of the
I'm gonna tell you the
SCLC.
three that I'm naming right now: Al Sharpton, Young, and Bobby Ray.
Well, Mark Morial is part of that
Who
guard.
that? Who is Mark Mariel? Ain't nobody heard no damn Mark Mariel. Who's that?
Man, you haven't heard of Mark Morial was the
No.
mayor of New Orleans. He's the chairman of the Urban League.
Mm-mm.
His
I heard it.
his
Ray
daddy
maybe was that one.
his daddy Dutch Morial was
He
the
was the
first
one
black
who made
mayor
the
of
impact.
New Orleans.
I don't even know who the mayor of Mississippi is, which is my home
Well,
state.
Mississippi don't have no mayor, but
I'm
you
trying
got
to
a
think of all that.
white governor, but you got a black mayor of Jackson.
Yeah, Chokeway.
No, he got defeated.
Huh?
Chuckway got defeated.
Oh, he just got defeated.
Yeah, he's on bribery charges for taking money under the
I
table.
know him. He followed his daddy track, and he did. He was all right. He was there when that water scandal went down. He was
Yeah,
that did.
but I think the new leadership, man. We're having a leadership struggle here in Houston between my
Now
Congressman
Houston got
Al Green,
black folks in charge.
Congressman Al Green, and
Did he lose?
no, he's in a runoff with Menifee.
Okay.
Now this was a direct result of redistricting, but you got the old and the new. You got the money from special interests, and you got a candidate you know that's positioning himself as being for the people
Mm-hmm.
against a young candidate who's got special interest money from uh, the the Bitcoin cryptocurrency folks because they don't like Al's position on the financial services community. So they're putting up a lot of money to run TV ads and stuff in the Houston area that Al don't have the money to compete with. And I don't know whether the electorate is aware enough to look behind the curtain and see who's really funding the candidate. They just see the commercials.
Well, they took away the barriers to funding candidates. There's no barriers. Anybody can fund a candidate at any amount level that they choose. There's no limit. I mean, any candidate with good financial backing, it's nonstop. You can't stop. Look what Pam Bundy did. $300 million on a $320 million on a TV campaign, and she's the star. That's why he got fired.
And they gave it to a company started by Lewandowski. I think it was Lewandowski that just got established like a couple of days or a couple of weeks. You won't get that kind of.
Yeah,
Come
that
on,
company
man.
was established. This is the one that went. This was an overseas contract that Pam Bundy was known to have ties to, but they paid her. They paid this company that was only on the books for like 6 weeks.
I don't think it was 6 weeks. It was a real
Basically,
short period of time. There ain't no way in hell you could get a contract like that.
nope. They told me after I have even in San Antonio, they said you don't have enough experience, performance history. You had to have performance history.
Yeah.
You had to have perform. If you show them that you got the performance history, they'll say you don't have the experience. This is what they
What?
do.
So what kind of performance history did that company have?
None. They hadn't even got their paperwork ink dry. That was straight up scam. But you can't.
And this was the federal
She's
company.
only doing what her leader is doing. Just like here in this organization I was in a while ago, right? The head person in charge took a vehicle, got rid of it, bought the vehicle he wanted, and charged it to the organization.
Mm.
Sold the organization to get that vehicle. And now he got a vehicle that the organization got to pay for when the organization didn't have no vehicle. So when that happened, it went, finally got through all of that. Several years later, the deputy, the second in charge, did the same thing, but he had to turn his car back in. So what I'm saying is when people get in powerful positions, Pam Bundy, they get they get so much money under their control, they lose sight of their purpose. And when they start to think of self more than the purpose they're in that position for, they do things like what they have done.
Man,
You
you
got
giving it.
all this money laying in front of you. You might make a few little mistakes here. You might go on a spending spree and do all this here. But the bottom line is you got to account for it at the end of the day. You might be able to tap dance around it and get away with it and a slap on the wrist, but the bottom line is you're not trusted anymore. You are
Man,
known to be a thief because you have out the money.
man,
That,
you giving them a lot of credit. Them just straight up crooks.
well, it's all about saving face. That's all that is. They know she's solid. They know she ain't no good because if she was good, she wouldn't be fired right now. Why
Well,
is
Trump
so?
appointed her to something else.
But what is that? Something you ain't never heard of?
Right.
Every single day there's something new coming out of this White House. You ain't never heard of them. What is it? Star Power organization, something like that. Something stupid. That some little. Yeah, I can't put the level of stupidity on this stupid stuff. You know, I'm not one to sit here and publicly say some things are stupid or just be disrespectful toward what's happening in our country. That is just saving face for Pam Bundy. That's all it is. You don't want to just fire her and send her on her way because she's got too much knowledge about what's been happening in that White House. So they're not going to just fire her because she can talk. I don't know if they got a gag on her or something or
Oh,
non-disclosure.
you think she knows too much?
Yeah, she knows too much. She's seen all them Epstein papers. She probably got files at her house, just like everybody else. She probably got some of the original that million documents missing at her house because it can't be sitting in the White House and nobody has access to it.
So, what's your take on that? That
Oh,
whole, that whole. You think? I think Trump guilty or something.
I think Trump is,
The man started a war to take the focus off Epstein files.
yeah, he did. Can you hear me?
Six people are dead to protect his ass.
Come out the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a lot of soldiers to go down because of what he has done. And this is, to me, is such an unnecessary place to be right now in war with one of these Middle East countries, Iraq, Iran, all Palestine. This has been the thing about America for the last 40 years. Back and forth, back and forth. You start out with in the 90s, early 90s, you had Saudi, this Kuwait attack where they went over there and the war lasted every bit of 72 hours. It was over. You know, Desert Storm, that's what they call it, Desert Storm. Then after Desert Storm come Afghanistan, another 20-year campaign, never called campaign. Then after that, we got what happened in Ukraine. We supported them like fools. Then what happened after that is where we are right now. You know, it's just thing after thing after thing that we get ourselves into as a country, and we have no real reason for being there. We don't. We're not the world police. We're not the world government. We don't dictate what other countries can do, and we are not going to determine whether they are at a crisis level with nukes.
But think about this. If
Mm,
you got the biggest, baddest, boldest, most
I'm,
armed military force in the world, aren't you going to use it for political purposes when you need to?
I'm the biggest bull in the room, and if I don't like
If I
you
don't get my way,
anywhere, I'm gonna slap you around a little bit.
yep,
That's
cause he
basically.
can, cause you can. You, it's like being the biggest bully in school.
And nobody can do anything about it but what they did to America on these issues where they found terrorists here in the country. That is something that we are not comfortable with. Now, as far as Iran, they blew up the underground facility. What's next? Okay, they lost capability. Then at least that's what was said. That they had no more capability to produce nuclear weapons because all of this is done because we blew this up. You remember that happened months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
This ground facility. It was done in Iran. Now all of a sudden, what happened in Iran to change that? You know, we're jumping on Iran to divert their focus, but help Epstein, well, the help sec, the Department of Defense person. I don't know if I'll ever call it the Department of War, but the Department of Defense individual help sec people.
I just know I'm feeling the war. I went to fill up my daughter's car the other day, and regular unleaded is now over $3 a gallon, and it was $2 and something a couple weeks ago.
A couple of days ago, it don't just prices don't even. It takes 40 days to 60 days for the price to affect America, or to go over there to the Middle East where we get a lot of oil and come back here. It takes about 2 months
Well, it's already up.
to happen. It should not be an instantaneous increase in prices of fuel. Just like it should not be an instantaneous increase on prices for food. But that's what we have to deal with because these people are greedy. These capitalistic, motivated people will rob you blind if you allow them. The only objective that Americans have, in my mind, is to separate you from your money.
But you
And
know, but
no
but
other
but
way to live here.
but don't the consumer have some control? We're the ones making the buys. We don't have to buy.
Well, how are you gonna stop that? You can't. You're not gonna voluntarily stop buying chicken. Do you buy
What
chicken?
do you mean you're not gonna voluntarily stop buying
You
chicken?
gonna stop eating chicken?
I don't eat chicken.
You don't.
Mm-mm.
You're the first black man I ever ran into that said I don't eat chicken.
I've gotten off chicken. I
When did
used
you
to eat
stop
chicken
eating chicken?
about 15 years ago.
No. Well, you eat pig, you eat pork.
I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of I eat. I
Why
still
did you
eat.
stop eating chicken? That's
I
so fascinating to me. Why did you stop eating chicken?
because
You don't
it's
like that
unhealthy. It's
skin,
unhealthy for you. It's
fake
unhealthy for
skin,
you.
huh?
I'm just pulling your leg, man. You know I still eat chicken.
Well, I was
I had you going. I had you going.
you heard
You
me
you
with that
finna
one.
you finna dig all into my psychology here.
Yeah. So you do eat chicken, then?
But
Woo,
so you don't think as a consumer we have choices? We don't have to.
of course. But we're not gonna stop eating chicken. I don't care who said that they make it in a lab with a 3D printer. They probably got a 4D printer to make chicken, and
Yeah,
then
because
they
it ain't.
making beef out of feces. There is so many things going on here that voting. We got to get back to voting. Voting changes the world, and if you don't vote, you can't change the world. And right now, we don't vote, so the world ain't changing in our favor. It's getting farther and farther and farther away from our favor because we are allowing it to get that far away from our favor, and we don't push people like Jasmine Crockett out there to be our voice as a people. We're people that need to be recognized, and we're not together enough to be recognized. We don't. We got to know who we are, and you don't know where you're going until you know where you came from. Black people, know where you came
Well, Gil Scott Heron, talks about voting is an illusion of inclusion,
from.
and
I know it can't. It's an illusion when you don't vote.
well,
We
like
don't
you,
vote enough. If we had the quantities to vote, we could change this country. But without the quantities to vote, we can't change the country. And we keep thinking we can jump online 30 days out before it's time to vote and just act a fool without campaigning. And it don't get us anywhere. Because if we're not campaigning 24/7, 365, we're not campaigning. You're wasting your time doing these 30, 60-day campaigns trying to get somewhere. You can't do it. You can see that in Canada. If a candidate don't start, like you say, a year out, they're not going to get elected. You cannot get your message across in a week. If you intend to get somebody to go vote, if you intend to motivate somebody to go vote, it's going to take more than what you're giving right now. The 30, 60, 90 days ain't cutting. It's got to be 24/7, 365. And we got to have places that function without, like it ain't no tomorrow. And we don't have that. These Democratic senators, many of these Democratic politicians, they keep doing the same old dumb shit that don't do a doggone thing to help the constituents. They pass a little legislation here and there, but it ain't enough to make an impact on who we are. It ain't got nothing to do with the identity of who we are. That's the problem. The identity of what they're making the changes for ain't got a doggone thing to do with us. And that's what the problem is. And it doesn't have anything to do with us because if they don't code switch and flip over to the other side somewhat, a little bit, they cannot get anything done because nobody will support them, not even their own people. What bothers me the most is when I go to I'm so sorry, TikTok. What bothers me the most when I walk into a store and I say hi to people that look like me, and they act like they scared, like a damn hamster running in a hole. Too afraid to speak. That's sad. I never thought that this world would be in a position where black people would be that way towards each other. They're so afraid of connecting or letting somebody see them connect with another black person that they shy away from seeing you. If you walk down the aisle, they'd rather go down another than to say hi in the grocery store. And it is just so sad when you live in a society where you see this and it's so obvious, and people don't have no shame about their game. They continue to do it this way, and they do it that way because nobody texts them and tell them that they looking like a fool doing that kind of stuff. Pretty sad, but it's the way it is.
well, it's like you can advocate for our people,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also embarrass our people, meaning that there's a certain class of our people
Mm-hmm.
that advocacy for black folks turns them off because they're part of they could be part of the elite in the community, they could
Uh-huh.
be part of that middle class in the community, and your brand of activism, which is inclusive, can embarrass them because they are on a different social class. I
So
mean, when you
I think the way we present ourselves as politicians or future politicians or want to be politicians is what turns our constituents off.
no, I think that we have no. I think the days of all blacks being in the same boat are over.
Mm,
You know, the boat that Chuck Slaughter talks about is different than the boat that we talk about sometime on this show.
break
And I'm
that.
just saying that we're not in the same boat.
Mm,
We, our color is the same color. Our skin is still the same kin, but our issues and our standings and our outlook is not like what it was pre-integration. And I think it's more difficult to organize. I think it's more difficult to mobilize because of that. Because you can represent a constituency, which I've done as a member of the NAACP, and you ask yourself, if you go in there with a bold leadership and say we're going to lift all boats, that may come at the embarrassment of the boat that's already lifted.
I'm lost right there. What do you mean?
Meaning that if I'm addressing issues that Chuck Slaughter cares about, that may be that may be an embarrassment to a middle class black person in the same community that depends on the corporate whiteness for their survival.
Mm,
So we're not all in the same boat. The only thing that got us still connected is our skin color. But beyond that, we're not interconnected like we used to be. The days of the days of the days when politicians like the Malcolm X or the Jesse Jacksons or the Stokely Carmichael or that kind of leadership, because because the black community was a holistic sort of community. Those days are long gone. The leadership we got today has to address, like the county I'm in. 40% of the people have a college education. The average income is 100 and some thousand versus 60 some thousand for the state of Texas. So a black politician that runs in my county, if his personal characteristics mirror that of the demographic in the county, he's gonna win. He's got enough votes to win. Whereas if a person like Chuck comes along talking about prison reform and those kind of issues in that kind of community, that ain't gonna jail. That ain't gonna. He's not gonna win with that kind of agenda. So it goes beyond. Black folks have advanced to a point to where one message, I'm a fighter, like Jasmine. I'm a fighter. I will fight for you. That doesn't apply to everybody.
mm,
You got a whole lot of black folks now that can do their own fighting. They got their own resources. They got their own attorneys. They got their own resources at their disposal that they can fight. And so the battlefield is a little bit different. The battlefield used to be just black and white in the black community. Us against white folks. Because they was denying everybody certain inalienable rights. We couldn't even sit down at a restaurant and pay for a meal and be served. We couldn't go in a theater and sit where everybody else sit, even though we was paying the same fare. That applied to all black folks. That kind of discrimination doesn't exist anymore. People with Michael Jordan won the last 3 NASCAR races. He's a black man.
you don't hear much about it either.
You know, Tiger Woods is a black man on the golf course.
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams married a black guy, a white guy. You seen the latest iteration of Serena Williams? I mean, she's a different. Money changes you,
She's a beast.
and I'm just saying
She's a
the green book class is no more. Okay,
mm,
the Green Book class, people like Jesse Jackson and that kind of leadership, that,
Where
that kind of leadership is dying off. So who's gonna fill that void for those people?
I'm thinking that what I've seen is our our people senior than us have not given the tutorials to the upcoming generation. In other words, you on your own, just like they were on their own, and we have taken what
Well,
they have given us and tried to use it the best way
no,
we.
no, it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Mm,
Whether you're Jack and Jill, or AKA Alpha, so and so, everybody takes care of their own. All these organizations are created and they take care of their own. Like Jack and Jill takes care of Jack and Jill kids. Fraternities and sororities on college campuses gotta they take care of their priority is their membership.
mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is we have a structure that was created because of segregation, but
Mm-hmm.
but in creating that structure, it divided us. You got churches that are for people with money, and then there are churches for people that don't have money. So we created a structure for survival, but that structure continues to divide us today.
Mm-hmm. Do that structure help us go to the polls better? All those different segregations and lines between our societies. Do each group
I
put
think no,
people
no,
on
no,
voting?
no. I think all of our organizations, even the ones that are created more broadly, that they're not class-based kind of organizations, all use voting as a vehicle. Like fraternities and sororities got GLTV campaigns. Jack and Jill encourages its members to vote. So you got all the NAACP encourages people to vote. So you have that infrastructure of voting, but I would say it's fragmented because in locations where you have large black middle class organizations, you have better opportunities within the black community because you got more organizational structure. You don't have that in the black belt of Alabama. You don't have that in certain belts in Mississippi. So you don't have an urban league is there an urban league? I think there's an urban league in Jackson, Mississippi.
I don't know for sure.
There's an urban league in Birmingham, in the cities. But what I'm saying is, we've created this network. I think we've created this network of. They don't like to say it, but I think we've created this network of exclusion.
Mm-hmm. So,
And
let me throw this out to you and go ahead and formulate your closing too, because we're over an hour now. But so the question I have is we have a problem with us corralling our vote. What method or what means, or is there any method or any means that you may know of that could to help us improve our voting techniques or processes? Black people.
I think we need to expand the meaning of what it means to vote. I think we got to get away from this partisanship of having our vote being corrupted by one particular party. I think voting has to mean more than that. I think voting needs to follow our interests and not follow the party's interests. And until we learn how to separate that, I think that we're always going to be at a disadvantage because it's, I don't want to say this, but I just don't think black people within our party are accepted in some of the high places in our politics. There's still an unwritten rule about who can go where within our party structure. You know, uh,
Okay.
I think we need to address that. I think we need to be honest with that. Uh, And I think what's going to happen is, and we'll know after the Supreme Court ruling in terms of majority minority districts being outlawed, we may see less representation going forward, not more. Because if we don't have majority minority districts, do you think this country is in a period to where whites will vote for blacks outside of majority minority districts and majority minority interests? You think we're at that place?
No.
You think you can run where you live, and I don't know where you live, and you think the white majority of voters gonna vote for you?
It's a good question.
And then I would say, run, brother, run.
Even if you're the most qualified,
Even if you're the most qualified.
you're still not gonna get it. All
And
right.
I just don't think that we're there. I think as an electorate, as voters, I think that these issues really need to be put on the table and discussed, because it
Mm,
seems like we're going backwards instead of forwards.
absolutely.
And the Supreme Court ruling is going to prove the point when they render that decision in Louisiana, and I think there's another pending decision, that we may see a diminishing of the 62 representatives. This may be the last legislative session where we see that many CBC members. But
That caucus.
this country may prove me wrong. Black folks, I mean, you got black Republicans able to win in majority white districts.
Mm,
So maybe that will be expanded. But do those black Republicans represent black interests, or do they represent white interests? Do they vote on black interests at the Capitol, or do they see how does having black Republicans benefit black folks? I think those are the questions that I think that we need to be debating. Those are the questions that I think we need to be holding up to the micro. But we never have those discussions because that's not the way our politics played out. We don't care what the Republican black folks think. We don't care about their policy solutions. We don't want to hear it. It's automatically bad because they're a member of the Republican
that's
Party.
the Republican.
It's automatic bad. Automatically. They may have a solution to solve a problem that hasn't worked in the last 60 years, but we don't want to hear it because look who's saying it. So until we get to that level of politics, to where we're not manipulated, bamboozled, and used, we're going to be having the same conversation over and over and over and over.
I agree.
Next year, because we've had to look at the last two Senate races. We've had viable. Royce West is a viable black candidate. He's been in the Senate for years. There's probably no more person, no more. He's probably more qualified than he's more qualified than King Paxton and anybody else that's running. But they chose a white woman over him.
Just because.
Now we need a fighter, but we got a lamb running. You asking us to go from voting for a fighter to voting for a lamb? Tell me how that gonna turn out.
It's pretty sad. Well, there you have it, brothers, sisters. You've heard Mr. Clark Foster give us his synopsis of voting in Black America. Final word, Clark. Final word.
Oh, final word.
Go ahead.
I guess my final word would be: don't give up. We're a winner.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been a winner, and we're gonna work this out, and we're gonna figure this out going forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Clark, for being a part of Black News Network. And we will see you next week at 3:30, same time, same place, for another topic and another good information briefing on something that's very, very important to our culture. Me, the host of the Black News Network. I like to bring you the best information I can possibly bring you. And I hope that you take a moment to listen to some of the things we say about whatever we may be talking about. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and don't forget to check us out on Instagram. We do our best to provide you the best type of information we possibly can. And your check marks, your hearts, your responses, your questions, whatever you may have that you're giving to the Black News Network 24/7, we really do appreciate that. In closing, voting, no matter how you look at it, is the only way you're going to change America, Black people. You are not going to change America any other way. If you're not willing to get up and go out and sign that paper, then you're making a mistake. You're allowing America to slip right back to where it was pre Civil War days, seem like, because we're on our way back. We've lost so many rights and situations that are designed to help us move forward. The critical race theory, that's what I was trying to think of earlier, and it's about what they've done in school. Excuse me for jumping, but that's what they did to our schools in Texas, where they mandated the teachers not to teach anything about slavery because it upset the white kids. And if they did, they could be prosecuted in a court of law for breaking the law because they taught something about slavery. So the critical race theory was the beginning. The affirmative action was changed to DEI, diversity, inclusion, equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which, what's the point? The UFOs changed to some other thing. I don't even know. All these changes, we got the Department of Defense is now Department of War. Now we got the Heart-Seeking Committee that Pam Bundy is going to head up. All these different things that don't make no damn sense are coming up. You know, just like past President Barack Obama said at Jesse Jackson's funeral, we don't know what piece of stupidity is going to pop up tomorrow, because every single day it seems to be something new. And the whole objective is to put the brakes on the Jeffrey Epstein files. Nobody wants to keep on that, especially in the mainstream news today. They don't want to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein files because DT don't want them to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein files. When it comes to voting, though, you got Democrats, you got Republicans. Black people have a bad habit of locking themselves into Doom Nation. Doom Nation is locking yourself in as a candidate for failure. If you don't think the ideas of the Democrats are to best represent you, then why are you voting Democrat? If you don't think the Republican Party is best for you, then why you've been voting Republican? But there's nothing to say that just because you are Black, you need to vote Democrat. You don't have to be Democrat just because you are Black. If you don't believe me, ask Nika. She'll tell you. Miss Nika will tell you she don't vote. She's a Republican and she ain't ashamed of it. And I would hope that you can be a Republican and not be ashamed of it if you are. But that's your business, just like it's my business on what I am. So you need to do better, though, just like I need to do better with our purpose as voters in America, because if we don't vote, we don't win. And we have lost our butts in these last few races. Now, a lot of times when you vote early, they want to make you declare whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. So if you vote in the early voting processes, you will have to declare whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Don't, just because that's what your family has done for the last 100 years, or since the Voting Voters Act, what was it, the 13th Amendment, don't allow yourself to stick that way. Because in the beginning, the Republican Party was Black. In the end, the Democratic Party is Black. It's not synonymous. Don't get stuck on stupid. If it's not for you, don't do it. If it's for you, go with it. But all this stuff that the Democrats are doing might be a problem. All this stuff that the Republicans are doing might be a problem. You, as an individual, make the decision based on your vote. You make that call, and it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter. What matters is your dotted check mark or X and on that damn ballot. That's all that matters. Vote. Black, get out and vote. The most black people beat white people voting when Obama won the presidency. Why can't it be that way now? They went on a massive effort to disqualify us from being eligible to vote, and that's their prerogative. But it's our prerogative to not quit voting. Get back out there and vote again. Every single year. Do not be discouraged. And you have to be given time by your employer to go vote. And if they cannot threaten the loss of your job, but you know how these people are. They do all this dirty stuff and you can't do nothing about it. So the only thing I can ask you to do is try. If you try to make the effort to do what you're supposed to do, then who can complain about anything you've done? Do the best you can at what you do. Again, this is the Black News Network, BNN 247, the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting the news every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. The news and information every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. We don't own the rights to any music, but we do own the rights to what we say. And what I'm going to give you is a little bit of Mississippi dialect on my way out. And what I'm going to say is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to say I'm gonna go ahead and let you go for this afternoon. I want to thank you for being a member and being a part of what we're trying to represent here at the Black News Network and the Black News and Information Network. Thank you so much. Have a great day today and a better day tomorrow. And we will see